Hi and welcome to the myITChap video blog. I'm your host Ben Daniel and this is episode 3. Before we get going on this episode, a small word on the channel, on the YouTube channel and these video blogs. The video blog started from basically me and a counterpart of mine who you will actually get to meet at some stage in the near future here, deciding we were going to start a podcast. And because of scheduling, it sort of fell in a heap and we never got anywhere with it from there. But I started doing these video blogs a couple of weeks ago. And the podcast has also come back onto the drawing board again, probably 3 to 4 weeks from getting something done with it. But we'll let you know more about that as we go about. Now, the video blogs came about because of some training that needed to be done. All training, tutorial stuff that needed to be done for clients of myITChap that were saying, oh, how do we do this? How can we do that? I'm using the Mac operating system for the first time and don't know the first thing about it. I keep getting lost. Well, to save you getting lost, we thought we'd put the channel together and we opened the channel up to the public as well. We thought it may be better, and there are some really good tutorials out there on YouTube and in other places that are video tutorials showing you what to do, but it was easier for us to do our own as well because we thought our clients would know that they could come to us directly and ask questions, etc. So the video blog was born from that, and it sort of snowballed a little bit, became a beast, required me to pick up the chair, the lion tamer's chair and the lion tamer's whip, and belt it back into its cage so it would stay there before it got way out of control. And so we sort of got a plan together for it over the last few weeks before we started back in episode 1 with CCleaner for Mac, and came up with some very basic ideas for the show, for the video blog itself. One of them was, we're going to do tutorials on software and show you software, do some reviews on software even. We're also going to do some hardware reviews, which we did last week with the TL-MR3020 TP-Link wireless router that takes a little 3G modem and is really small. We've got that. We've got some major tutorial stuff, which is what we're starting here with episode 3 today. We'll tell you more about that as we come down to it. Also, to finish us off as to what we're doing, we're going to do some hacker stuff, some case modding stuff, some maker stuff. We'll also show you some stuff we're doing with microcontrollers and how they work. If you like what we do, there's a couple of ways you can go about helping us with this. You can subscribe, for starters. Here on YouTube, you can subscribe. It's up about there somewhere. Click on it, subscribe to the channel. We'd love you to do so. It means we get an idea of who our subscribers are, who's watching, who's not watching. Gives us a rough idea. Because last week's video, we were actually quite surprised. The first week, we had very little in the way of views to that, and still have very little views on our first video, our episode 1 video for CCleaner for Mac. Last week's video, we're up to about 50 views now on it, which completely and utterly blew me away. I was sort of being negative about it and saying, oh, we're not going to get that many looks. And I was quite surprised when I had a look last night as to how many views we'd actually had on the channel for that particular episode. But that being said, we'd love you to subscribe. You can also visit our Facebook page, which should be here. If it doesn't end up here on screen, it will be in the description on the YouTube channel to take you across to our Facebook page, to the myITChap Facebook page. Like that, we've got a lot going on there. You can actually give us information there or here within the channel, either on the Facebook page, or within the channel as to what you'd like to see us do for you. If you'd like to see us do a software review, hey, we may very well have the software and be able to take a look at it for you. Even knock a tutorial together of how to do it if we've been using it for a while and know how to use it, or it's a simple piece of software and it doesn't take too long for us to come up to speed with it. Looking at hardware items as well, looking at pieces of hardware hey, look, we've got things like that. If you've got a microcontroller project you'd like us to have a look at for you, and maybe even start to sort of say, well, this is the way you could lay it out and things like that, we're willing to take a look at that as well, and maybe put it together in a podcast, or even put it together here on the YouTube channel as part of the video blogs as well, and allow access to it for others to do it. We want you to help us out in that way, giving us ideas of what we can do. We have, and I mean, I have 2 A4 pages of ideas written down now already. So there's quite a bit of material here, but if you come up with an idea, we can slot it in because it matches something we're doing. Please subscribe to the channel. Give us some sort of a rating here on YouTube. It helps us out with that. Thumb up, thumb down, dislike it even if you like. We'll take dislikes. Yes, we'll take dislikes. We'll take likes as well. We'd rather like likes here on YouTube, but it's up to you as the viewer. Hey, we're going to do something that's going to say that you don't like at some stage. Well, yeah, and then we might do something you do like. It's as simple as that. Now, on to the actual video blog for this week. Episode 3. This starts the first of our, probably what I'm going to call major tutorial series. We're going to take a look at Mac, the Mac operating system, and how to use it. But we're going to take it as if you've been using Windows for quite some time, and you've decided to switch to a Mac, or you've brought a Mac and you've opened the interface up and gone, huh, what's this? I don't know the first thing about this. I can't navigate it. How does it all work? Well, I tell you what, let's take a look at it. Okay, so here is the Mac desktop. This is what you'll generally sort of see. There'll be some differences. The background will be different. The what's known as the dock down here at the bottom, which I've just started the icons enlarging on, will be slightly different as well. We are giving you an intro to Lion, so if you have Snow Leopard or anything else, there will be some differences. I will try to point them out. If you have Snow Leopard or earlier, I will try to point out some of the differences anyway with Snow Leopard, because I came into Mac OSX with Snow Leopard. I really haven't looked at much else apart from Snow Leopard. But, right, with this, you're going to want to probably see how files get files copied, etc. Those sorts of things. Hopefully, no, I don't. Yeah, we will. Just saying hopefully and no, I was just being difficult. So you want to copy files across. Well, we'll show you how that works in a minute. I'll just get a thumb drive plugged in there now, so we've got that there. So you've got files copied. You're going to be copying files across, but let's give you a little walk around of this interface to start with. Up in the top left-hand corner, here is the little Apple menu, which gives you an about box, which shows you a little bit about your Mac, what it is, allows you to run software update from there, gives you more info when you click on it here, and hopefully it works. Shows you what you got there, displays, storage. This is a bit laggy because of a thing we've got running in the background, because of the video stuff we've got running in the background, but it tends to get a bit that way at times. And memory is what can be shown there. You've got software update, which I won't run now. You've got the App Store, which we'll explain and show in a different episode. Some system preferences we'll walk you through in another episode. The dock, which is the bar down the bottom, which is, to give it its Windows equivalent, is the quick launch bar. Recent items, force quit, which we'll explain in a later episode very quickly. Sleep restart, shut down, and log off the current user. Now, this is where it gets funny. I'm going to open up a Windows machine here, which is in a virtualized machine. We will just quickly go full screen, and calculator's up here for a reason. I've got calculator visible here for a reason. You've got a menu bar inside an application on Windows. Most applications, things like Microsoft Word and things like that, will not have it now, or it's hidden and has to be found. Now, The menu bar in a Mac is not with inside the application window. As you can see by VirtualBox here, there's this up the top. We'll actually use calculator so it's a bit easier for you to understand the comparison. Right, so here's the Mac calculator, the grey one, which will sit next to the Windows one, just to be funny. Now, this calculator, its menu is up here. You've got a system menu which will sometimes give you preferences. You will find preferences for applications under this menu for the application that says its application name. So if it's calculator, it says calculator. If it's Ultra Edit, it says Ultra Edit. If it's Notepad, it says Notepad. Those sorts of things. Whatever the program name is, its main system menu is going to be that name. Then you've got your file, your edits, etc., the rest across. But they're always going to be up here in this top bar. And final, just a bit more on the top bar. This is what's would be normally known as your system tray in Windows across the other side on the right here near the clock. And there's the clock, which you can switch into analog. There's some settings, which we'll go into in another episode. And Spotlight, which will also be for a later episode. Now, I've just... Getting out of an application, it's not a good way for me to do it with that one, so I'm going to bring up, because when some applications like Calculator, as you can see, if you take a look at the top left of screen, up here you will see there's Calculator up here. If I click here, Calculator is going to go away. But using something like Text Edit, if I click on the red X, as you would in Windows. Now Windows, to use the calculator as an example here, if I click, it disappears. As you can see, it is no longer down here in the taskbar of Windows. But if I bring Text Edit up and I click that X, you will see up, if you keep watching up the top corner there, the Text Edit menu item. The Text Edit menu item is still there. Clicking X in some applications for Mac does not physically close the program. Does not stop it running. It is still running in the background. It only closes the window. I'm not going to get into technical details of how that works, why it does it that way. It's a nice, easy way. You can generally, by clicking the running icon, as you can see down the bottom here, we've got a lot of icons with white dots below them. These are programs that are actually running. Finder itself, which I'll explain in a minute, will always have it running. Closing a program completely, I mean stopping it from running altogether, requires you either going into the program menu, okay, the program's menu, and selecting quit, for in this case Text Edit, or you can also use Control Q, which is what I'm going to use now to get rid of the Text Edit application. Now, browsing for files, the My Computer of Mac. So to go back into my full screen view of Windows here, we've got Computer up here, which we set up earlier. There we go, there's our hard drive. Or we can go to download the desktop and go into the myITChap one there, which gives us desktop contacts, favorites, links, my documents, which is empty because there's nothing in there, etc. So you find that way. On a Mac, as we close this and get rid of it, My Computer is Finder. The easiest way to get at it, you cannot remove it from the dock. It will always be in the dock. Click on it, there we go. It'll generally open up on the user home folder. As it's known, it gives you access to documents, downloads, Dropbox. Well, Dropbox is actually another application. Why am I reading that? Music, movies, pictures, your public folder. I've got a shared folder there because it's actually spitting out some shares across my network, and a VirtualBox VMs, which is the hard drives for my virtual machine, including the Windows 7 one, which we're currently using. We don't need to go into that there. Now, down the side here is your favorites, as it is in Windows, where, oh, did I close it so I can't switch back? Yeah, I closed it so I can't switch back, didn't I? You've got these down here, your favorites. There's a whole lot of favorites here. This is probably, I'll just get rid of this from the background so it doesn't get confusing again. Probably just about standard, except for things like Dropbox, normally isn't there, and I think pictures isn't there. One of these isn't there. There's another one here that's not here by default that you've actually got to turn on. This is favorites anyway. So you've got access to documents, clicking in there, applications, which I'll show you in a minute how to launch applications on a Mac. I won't show you how to install them. That'll be another episode as well. You've got shared devices down here, my Jungle Disk backup, which is the local Jungle Disk folder, which acts as a shared item. myITChap server, which is our little NAS server here in the lab. And the Lexar, which is not going to give me any files to copy across, but you would find that there. Also, when you do plug, just to say something, when you do plug a drive in, I think this is now enabled by default. External drives will also display here. You just double click on them to open them up. So that's about it. Now, launching an application, we're used to doing it this way in Windows. So you've got either something in your quick launch bar down here, same here. But let's say it's not in the quick launch bar or in the dock of Mac. We want to launch it. It's either going to be here, for instance, I'd sort of say in the way of something like Paint. We open Paint up. That's Paint there. Now, I don't think I've got an equivalent to Paint. So what we're going to do is, you've got two choices to open programs up. Launchpad, if you've left it in here. Click on it. It looks a lot like the iPhone or iPad interface. You've got folders for various programs. I might actually just sort of say, right, you've got folders, you've got different screens. You've got different screens for things. And little bits and pieces like that. Like we may just even go and open up something like, what can we open up really quickly here that'll give you, Smalltron will do. There we go. Smalltron's another text editor, which I sometimes like using. It does a little bit of code highlighting and that for programming. But so you can open that from there. Now, if it's here in the dock, well, you can open it from there as well. Something like, let's just open up. What can I quickly open? Oh, there we go. Audio Hijack Pro will do. Quickly to open up from there. And you can open it up. We'll just close it. The other way of getting at them, now sometimes we have found this, but it's a rarity, it happens, is sometimes it will not be displaying in the Launchpad. You will have to go into Finder, Applications, and then scroll down through Applications until you find it. So, for instance, there's Ultra Edit. You just double click from there if you've got it in the Finder window instead to open it up. As we can see, Ultra Edit was actually a dock mounted thing as well anyway. So that sort of explains that really, really quickly. So that's it for this one. That's a quick look at some of the basics, some of what should actually be hit. Please rate, subscribe, comment to the channel. Go and like our Facebook page, myITChap. Link is going to be in the description, or it will be down the bottom here again, maybe. Get across there, do that. Ask us questions there or here in the channel. If we've missed something, if we've misexplained something, do it. I'll actually cover it up when we come back to this tutorial series. The tutorial series will not run from week to week. We probably will run an episode next week unless something else comes up that we can do. If there's something that you may want us specifically to look at when it comes to the Mac operating system and how to use, how to work with it, let us know about that as well. So please rate, subscribe here on YouTube. Go like our Facebook page at myITChap. At least it will be in the description if I haven't chucked it up on the screen a couple of times for you to see the link. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.